Does the government work for us or do we work for the government? How much difference is there on the issue of the proper role of government in our lives between President Obama and the current leader in the national polls among the Republicans? Tonight, the curious comparison that both the president and the former speaker made of the same person on the same day about the same subjects. Yesterday, the president laid out a dark and unhappy vision for the role of the federal government in our lives. Speaking in a small town in rural Kansas, an area that has not voted for a Democrat for president in over 100 years, he argued that it is the role of government to take from those who have and distribute to those who do not have. Over and over again, he used the word fair to describe society in America. Fair play, fair shot, fair share. I'm confident that his advisors told him that no one could seriously object to the use of that word. The Constitution requires that the government treat all of us with fairness. But of course, it doesn't contemplate that the government can make society fair. Fair play, fair shot, fair share are code phrases for attacking the idea of rugged individualism and favoring the idea of collectivism. Rugged individualism is, of course, at the heart and core of the American fabric. The Declaration of Independence says that all men are created equal, not all groups. And the Constitution of the United States mandates due process and equal protection to all persons, not to the groups to which those persons belong. Why do I say groups? Because collectivism, the perverse idea that our human worth is a function of the group to which we belong, is at the heart of this fair play, fair shot, fair share argument. Collectivism puts people in groups. It assigns rights and privileges to the group, and it pits groups against each other in the name of fairness. JFK himself once commented that life is inherently unfair. Some have talent and others don't. Some have happy lives and others don't. Some live long and others don't. None of this is novel. We all have original sin. We all have free will. We all make mistakes. We are all subject to the laws of nature. But as if to suggest that government is possessed with the power to nullify original sin and neutralize the exercise of free will and disregard the laws of nature, the president proposes a muscular extension of government, and he proposes it on the model of what was once proposed by Theodore Roosevelt. Now, the president is free to choose his own heroes, but isn't it odd that at the same time that the president was praising Theodore Roosevelt, so was Newt Gingrich? Speaker Gingrich has argued that government should put people to work and teach them the value of showing up for work and earning their own way. He thinks that the federal government can tell poor families how to raise their children. He famously once agreed with Mrs. Pelosi and argued in favor of the government forcing all of us to buy health insurance. And he's just aching to start a war with Iran, just like Teddy Roosevelt was with Spain. Theodore Roosevelt is the Democrats' favorite Republican president. But he was the original nanny stater. He invented the idea of the federal government telling individuals how to live. Because of him and his followers, we have had prohibition, the draft, the income tax, the Federal Reserve, abortions, gun control, the loss of the sovereignty of the states, and even those horrific Jim Crow laws in the South. Not only is Theodore Roosevelt a curious choice for admiration by both President Obama and Speaker Gingrich, he is a bad choice. He tried to run the country from the White House, and he failed. As Freedom Watch has argued many times, if a big government Republican replaces a socialist Democrat in the White House in 2012, you can say goodbye to small government in our lifetimes. Now, you have also heard me argue that we don't have two political parties in this country. We have one big government party. It has a Democratic wing that likes war and taxes and welfare for its friends. And it has a Republican wing that likes war and deficits and welfare for its friends. And now we know that both wings even embrace the same big government heroes. America, it is time for a game changer in the White House. Someone who will bring us a government we can understand and control, and a government that will leave us alone. From New York.